Hello. You know something? Ravage comes with more missions than just the Altus map. This is dust. Altus. 28 days after the White Plague crisis. CSAT forces are roaming the nuclear wastelands of Europe, hunting down potential carriers of the deadly virus. 1 month after the White Plague War and the nuclear strikes, radiation and dust storms ravaged the land of Altus. Male survivors are killed on sight. Rare female survivors are captured and deported to preservation camps. This forgotten bunker kept you alive so far, but your food reserves are now depleted. You have no choice but to face the outside world. Okay. Well, we're in. Yeah, I'm still Chinese. Oh. Right. First things first, whatever that was. I suspect things will be hard to come by, so I'm going to search everything I possibly can. Oh. Yes, can't help but feel I'd be a bit better off than that. First aid kit. Oh, a whole bunch of stuff. That's your bag. Oh, flag straps can be either. Yeah, I'd never noticed that before. First mine dispenser. Really? Flares, grenade. Oh, actually, assault pack is probably better. Bandana, of course. Right. Is that everything? Oh, a little more. Oh. Oh, an empty bottle. Yeah. Can't help but notice a distinct lack of weaponry, he says, immediately finding a gun. Righty. Oh, there's Altus. All its glory. Where am I? Theoretically there. We shall see when I get outside. I was like that. Mysterious disappearance of all furniture. Well, yes, that was a good Altus joke originally, but you know, Ravage has its own furniture system. Ooh. Dirty water. What am I keeping dirty water for? See through that wall a bit. Yeah. Suspect this will teleport me. Indoors was there, outdoors is here. Well, I think I'm going to go in that direction. Ooh. Well, it'd be a shame not to have a look in here, so let us do so. Nothing. Never found anything of any use in one of those. I have to say, in real life, I'm having a semi-exciting time. The radio station that I do programs for, and goodness me, I've got one in 3 hours' time, which will limit the scope of this video. Yeah, we held a fundraiser. The frig? We held a fundraiser recently to raise some money for the station, especially because we had new equipment coming. And now the new equipment is coming. The other day, I was helping to move the new desk in. Oh, bit of a stutter there. And shortly we're going to have the new equipment. That means installing a new desk and checking out all sorts of stuff. Yeah, one of the weird things about the station, I say weird, I should say unexpected things about the station is that it runs on a bunch of servers. Well, that's not surprising, but the servers are nothing special. They're just old PCs that have been set up for that purpose. But what I find quite fun about it, and quite worrying, no, I'd need to at least deal with a person before I can waste ammunition like this. But yes, as each of those servers fails and dies, because servers all eventually fail and die, they get replaced. And they get replaced with Raspberry Pis. If you're familiar with the Raspberry Pi, well, you know exactly what that means. If you're not, Raspberry Pi is a tiny little computer. That was, I think it was originally. Is that the dust that is hurting me? Yeah, I think the Pi was originally developed for educational purposes, but it is frequently used in, well, embedded systems. A Raspberry Pi is 30 quid, and it's approximately the size of a cigarette packet. And yeah, it's the main thing is it's a system on a chip, which effectively means a whole computer on one chip. There are extra bits and bobs that go with it, and certainly the current Raspberry Pi 3B Plus has got Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, all that kind of stuff. So you can use it to, well, you can use it as a small low-powered computer. In fact, I recently built one and set it up for playing old computer games. My wife grew up in Taiwan, and she used to work as an arcade games designer. Yeah, she's proper. I mean, she's also designed computer games, edited computer magazines. She also did translation for some computer games, Western games that were getting released in Taiwan. The odd thing about that was that she didn't speak very good English at the time, and they didn't really get much support. Well, they got no support at all from the original publishers. They were just given the game, and that was it. So, I'm just going to check. Yes, I do have enhanced movement on. So they effectively had to sort of reverse engineer the games and hack translation into them. That was quite fun, because certainly one of the games that she did was, oh hell, I've been seen, was The Secret of Monkey Island. And if you've ever played The Secret of Monkey Island, you know it's quite an unusual game with quite a fun and complicated story. And yeah, she had to translate that into Chinese. And how could she do that with the sort of fun and arcane English in it, whilst not being able to speak English particularly well? Well, the answer is she just made up a story that would fit the images on the screen. Seriously. Go away, zombie. Especially now there's two of you. I'm getting tired. I really don't want to shoot you. So let's go and find a pile of rocks, and soon. Counts me, get your way. Yeah, so she did an awful lot of computer games. And a lot of arcade games. More to the point, coin-op games, whatever you want to call them. But also at the time, in Taiwan, games consoles didn't exist. That's not to say that they didn't exist. I say contradicting myself in the very next sentence. They did exist, but games consoles were not officially released in Taiwan. In fact, it's a strange situation in mainland China where games consoles weren't actually legal until quite recently. Oh, bugger off, zombie. So yeah, obviously my wife was into computer games and interested, so without any games consoles being released there, did she ever play on one? Yes, she did. She had a Nintendo Entertainment System, an NES, or Famicom. Because they weren't officially released there, there was a company, strangely run by one woman, who would import Japanese Famicoms and sort of convert them over for use in Taiwan. God, I've wandered well off my intended topic here. Ah, that dust robs me of my stamina. Gotcha. So yes, it's quite odd to think that everyone who ever had Famicom in Taiwan obtained it through one woman. And my wife was no exception. She had one. But if you know anything about the Famicom, the original version of the NES, I guess, the Japanese Famicom was a little different. It was an entirely different shape, and the controllers were an entirely different colour and shape. To the point where one of the controllers, I think it was the second player one, had a microphone. It's only used in a few games, but it was indeed used. Now, when I was putting together a Raspberry Pi for me wife, I wanted her to be able to play all the old games from the Famicom that she likes, and I wanted her to be able to play it in the manner that she was accustomed to. So that meant finding, well, either a commercially available Famicom controller in the original Japanese style, with either Bluetooth or USB, or preferably both, or I was going to have to make one. Tough. That would mean buying an original one, refurbing it all up, and trying to insert the circuitry that I would need. Plus, I'm not that good at electronics. Luckily, there's a company, 8BitDo, who do make such controllers. It's very easy to find the sort of NES ones in sort of European or American style, but very difficult to find the Japanese ones. And in actual fact, it's become very hard to find either now, because Nintendo finally noticed that they're identical and slapped them down. So I think they're getting restyled slightly. So yeah, found one of those. So I have a Raspberry Pi that is attached to the back of a monitor. The monitor has an HDMI switching box on it, so that it can allow PC to use it or the Pi to use it with just the press of a button. There's a nice sort of clever power switch for the Pi, and all the cabling is tidied away. I have some 25cm long USB cables and a 20cm HDMI cable. It's quite hard to get those. So anyway, neat little unit. And the Raspberry Pi is more than capable of playing all those games. In fact, I find it will play anything up to the PSP, PlayStation Portable. It's technically capable of running those, but it doesn't run them at full speed. It'll run the the minis, the sort of App Store Virtual Console little games that were developed for it. But when it comes to, you know, full-size games, it'll only run a couple of them well. So that gives you an idea of... Oh. Well, that came as a surprise. Enemy AI. I don't even know what killed me. I'm going to restart and skip ahead. Interestingly, I've emerged from a different bunker. So I'm going to go over this way. I did intend to just run through the game up to the point where I just died. But no, I've started in a different place. Anyway, point is, Raspberry Pi is a surprisingly capable little machine. It's very good at interfacing to things, and it's pretty easy to program. It runs, well, actually it can run several operating systems, but the main one that everyone tends to run is Raspbian, which is a Linux based on Debian, hence Raspbian. And yeah, works just fine. A lot of people use it, or use the cut down Pi Zero for strange little projects, and for 30 quid, you know, it's amazing how much you can do with it. And it's certainly capable of playing all the retro games that my wife would like, all the sort of Famicom, Super Famicom, PlayStation 1. I haven't tried PlayStation 2 actually. Yeah, Xbox, etc., etc. It'll play anything. So, yeah, I mention it in conjunction with the radio station because, yeah, we have all these servers. The servers do various things like run the playback system, you know, for when we play music. Most of the music is streamed in MP3 format generally from the playback system. Playback, playout. I forget the correct names for these things. There's also a server which records everything we broadcast. That's a legal requirement. Can't remember how long it is that we're compelled to keep such recordings, but yeah. Oh no, I can't sleep there. But yes, we are required to keep them in case of any breach of broadcasting rules. And, you know, various other things as well. So, as these servers die, they get replaced with Raspberry Pis. Oh, frig. Oh, I am popular. Stand up straight. Goodness sakes. Run. Oh, jeez. Enhanced movement for the win. So yeah, it is strange and somewhat depressing, but also slightly fascinating to see, you know, a big server and a standard sort of MIDI tower case get replaced by tiny little computers the size of a packet of cigarettes. Good lord, I've ended up attracting a lot of them. I am inclined to let them wander off. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 12 of them. 12 plus. Ah, there's always one, isn't there? Huh. Yeah, when I go to do a radio program, I carry a little box with me, a little black box, which contains, well, as I like to say, it's a radio station in a box. I mean, it isn't. It's a radio program in a box. Oh dear. I'm not very good at climbing down off things. There's a way of doing it, I think. I've managed it before. But yeah. Basically it's a box with keys for the station. Oh. Some throat pastils, because you can't sort of lose your voice on air. I rarely have to use them. Some guitar plectrums, because it's amazing how often you have musical guests in the studio and they forgot to bring a plectrum. What else is in there? Oh, 2 MP3 players, both of which hold 6,000 songs. Because I only play Japanese music. Well, I only play Oriental music. Mostly Japanese. Do you think he's in there? I think he's in there. I think I'm not going to go and find out. Yeah, so the kind of music I play isn't going to be on our music system. Which is fine. But yes, it is. Oh, and my pass card and various other bits and bobs are in that box too. Yeah. But yeah, I find it depressing that the little MP3 players I use are about half the size of a Raspberry Pi. And, yeah, I've got 6,000 songs on each one. Oh, a little bit of a glitch there. Wow, check. I've been playing Assassin's Creed. I think it shows. Right, that's enough about him. So yeah, it's strangely fascinating and almost worrying to see sort of a radio station becoming smaller. Oh, hell. Or at least the technology and equipment for it becoming smaller. It's very weird. But we've got all the excitement of fitting up all the new stuff, which I'm going to enjoy. It's nice playing with that kind of technology. And I'm not very familiar with things like compressors. Because radio station signals are compressed. Now, yeah, if you don't know what a compressor is, it's coming in. It takes the sound. Ah! Oof. Takes the sound from the broadcast, and the sound has a certain sort of dynamic range to it. You know, sort of scale of frequencies. If you imagine taking any kind of audio file into an audio editor, that kind of spectrograph, I guess it is, that you see representing the sound. Oh, pulse, there's another one on me. Is showing the sort of the dynamic range of the audio. Oh, plummet flip. Oh. This could definitely be going better. Well, thank you. So anyway, yeah, it takes the compressor takes the frequency response to the dynamic range of a signal and squishes it down such that the highest pitched sounds are sort of pushed down the frequency a bit, and the lowest pitched sounds are pushed up. It does this across the whole signal, and it does so proportionately. So you don't really notice, because when people are playing back music on when people are listening to the radios generally aren't very good. As in, they have small speakers in them, and those speakers are not capable of accurately reproducing high-pitched or low-pitched sounds. So the signal is compressed, sort of squeezed down in sort of frequency resolution to make it possible for even a terrible little portable radio to play back the sound. Now, with the internet fast becoming I really need to learn more about enhanced movement. That wasn't clever. Yeah, with the internet fast becoming sort of the more popular means of listening to the radio, that doesn't matter. So yeah, our internet stream will go out effectively uncompressed, whilst the analog broadcast will go out through the compressor. I have never played with a compressor before, not hardware one at least. I've used software ones, but it's a different story. Oh. Oh, bugger. Uh-oh. Oh no. Still okay. Well, this guy's not wandering off. So yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to having to play with that kind of kit. Of course, some of you listening to this will probably actually know about compressors and things. In which case, it's a shame I won't have you with me. Oh, for God's sakes. Right, now I'm actually getting properly hurt. That's just a vehicle. I'm definitely not as quick as I used to be. But I only got one first aid kit. Oh. Frick. Well, this is not safe. Oh dear. Why am I so bad at this today? Ah. Okay. Well, this time I appeared in the same place as last time. You know, maybe it's not the smartest idea to go with it. Who knows. So, actually, first of all, yeah, so I find all that sort of tinkering with audio hardware and things to be quite interesting. It's very much out with my experience. I'm much better at digital things. So that's something I am looking forward to. And I quite enjoy the fact that it's a small radio station. I've done radio shows on bigger stations in the past, and they could be quite restrictive. my show, I am allowed to do as I please, which is really nice. I absolutely love it. I used to do a show about film music from films. Yeah, they got me in because I worked in film, and I'm thinking avoiding zombies is generally the way to go. But yeah, on that station, for pretty much everyone, the way it worked was that the music was all piped in from elsewhere. The DJs did not play any music themselves. It wasn't just that there was a playlist, that they didn't get to control any of the music. In fact, a light came on in the studio when it was time for them to talk, and then it would flash when it was almost time for the next tune to play, and then the light would go out. Actually, I think there was a light of a different colour came on when the next track started to play. And that was it. The DJ was reduced to just someone who talked in between tracks. Because I was doing film music, which wasn't on their system, I was the only person there who was allowed to control their own music. Isn't that weird? Oh. Finally. And, there were all kinds of restrictions about what we could say, what we could play, etc. It did not make for the most fun experience. He's got to be over there somewhere. Ooh, that Fallout. No, my luck so far. I'm gonna die to this guy. Oh, I should say, I don't get paid for doing this this radio thing, because it's a small it's a small station. It's run by volunteers. Nuts. So yeah, I volunteer. I'd like that better. When you're getting paid, you know, it compromises you. I mean, not a bad way. I mean, that sounds awful, but you know, if you're getting paid to do a radio show and the station management decide that something you're doing is not on brand or they dislike it, then it's quite hard to stand your ground. By not getting paid, I don't have to think about any of that. Where on earth is this guy? I've heard no more evidence of his existence recently. I have. Okay, this is... no, I can't even move. But yeah, it's a truly wonderful thing on our station to be able to do as we please. Some shows I just play music. That used to be a human. Bother. He's got nothing on him. I suspect that those gunshots I heard were him, and he died in the process. Just making sure. Yeah, so some days I just play music. Other days I'll discuss aspects of Oriental culture. Sometimes we'll talk about language. Sometimes it's a mix of all of that. Sometimes I read stories. Folk tales so far. You'll find some of these as videos on my channel. And yeah, it's very nice. I do not have to play a certain proportion of music. I do not have to talk in a particular way. I don't have anything in particular I have to say. I thoroughly dislike our news provider, which is Sky News. Sky News, of course, Rupert Murdoch. Same guy owns Fox and The Sun and The Times and I think the Wall Street Journal these days. And yeah, sometimes the manner in which they report the news I do not agree with, and I'm free to say so, and do. I particularly enjoyed when the previous leader of North Korea, Kim Jong-il died, Sky News reported the death of Kim Jong II. I was like, Kim Jong II? Well, yes, when you write Kim Jong-il, capital I, lowercase l, it looked like a 2 in Roman numerals, and the person reading the news at Sky did not know who the leader of North Korea was, and so misread that as Kim Jong II. And that fact went uncorrected all day. All day they reported the death of Kim Jong II. Not a single person in that newsroom knew who the leader of North Korea was. And in a recent broadcast, God, I thought that was a person crouched there, they referred to the capital of North Korea as being Pyongyang. Pyongyang. I have a deep interest in North Korea, so, you know, well up on all that kind of stuff. We're going there. Yes, it amuses me no end when Sky News get it wrong. Our news is actually provided through a contract with is it Independent Radio News? And Independent Radio News, they contract a news organisation to provide the actual news broadcast. And it used to be ITN. Same people you'll know from doing ITN News on ITV and Channel 4 News. But when the contract was up for renegotiation, it went to Sky News. And notably, the length of the news changed. The news used to be 3 minutes long, and now it's only 2 minutes long. Oh, did you hear that door open? Let's go inside. How cute. Oh. Run, 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 run. Oh, amusingly enough, the news provider does not do the weather, so we have to read the weather ourselves. Which, yeah, I don't mind doing. People say I read the weather well, which kind of bothers me. But you know, when I do a highly unusual program, I think I have the only program playing contemporary Japanese music on the whole of British radio. Certainly I'm not aware of any others, and by crummy, I've looked. Oh my goodness me, they just keep coming. This is not good. Yeah, you know, present a show like that, and people compliment me on how I read the weather. You know, I don't mind at all, but that does feel, you know. Does feel a little odd. Yeah. They don't come up and tell me how well I read stories or the interesting points of culture and language that I raise. No. It's like, ooh, you read the weather well. Anyway, this afternoon I'm off to do the blues programme, which I'm co-presenter. My good friend Roger has been presenting a blues programme for quite a long time. I didn't know Roger before I started doing the programme. He asked me if I would do it with him. Craig. Hoping the zombie... Oh, nuts. Hoping the zombies are confounded by the fence, but... Kid. Ow! Ah, jeez. I'm gonna have to do this. Please stay healthy. Yes. So yeah, it's very different doing a show with someone else. You know, when I'm doing a show completely on my own, sometimes I plan out shows quite carefully. I do a lot of research, take a lot of notes. Other times I just sit down in front of the microphone and start talking. But when you're doing a show with someone else, well, there's not that same obligation to have to speak. Goodness me, these zombies are a threat. And they're everywhere. Get up there! Oh, that's right, zombies get confused. Yeah, doing a show with someone else is great. Um, you don't have the same requirement to sort of speak and cover things. Plus, I don't know all that much about blues music, but Roger does. And we frequently have guests. Having guests is great, because all you need to do is talk to them. And just simply sitting there and talking to a person, well, that takes care of just about everything. You know, things come about naturally. Really don't want to shoot you zombies, because, oh my goodness me, I'm down to only 8 rounds. So anyway, that's this afternoon's main activity. I've already done my sort of day job for the day, my media analysis. In fact, I actually did most of my day's work last night. Not like rocks to zombies. Frick, I've got to be so careful now. Right, my health's okay. But I have to find and kill another person with only 8 rounds. Because I've wasted 2 magazines on zombies. And the only person I've heard got killed by zombies before I got there. Well, the power plant was a bit of a dead end. Actually, my media analysis work is partially interesting at the moment. The main thing that I do is write reports about a certain French supermarket chain in well, their activities and items of relevance to them in Poland, Spain and Argentina. I didn't speak Polish before this project, but yeah, I'm learning Polish. I wouldn't say very well, you know, I learned a good chunk of Polish. Although I'm now at the very dangerous stage of I've never actually talked to anyone in Polish or particularly listen to their speech. So there's all manner of words that I have only sounded in my head, and so I could be sounding them out rather wrongly. So if I ever actually do come to speak Polish, I could have the most appalling pronunciation. Yeah, I could really do with hanging out with someone Polish. Spanish isn't so bad. I'm quite used to Spanish. It's usually Mexican Spanish that I do. But, you know, there's not a huge difference between Mexican Spanish and Spanish or Argentinian Spanish. But Argentina's quite an interesting one. Frig. That's far away. Argentina is interesting because the state of their economy at the moment. The Argentinian economy is, well, on the verge of collapse, I'm sorry to say. So yeah, it's particularly odd writing a sort of commercial report on the activities of a supermarket chain there. Because, you know, the state of the economy is this huge outside influence that they can do little about. It is definitely getting mistier or dustier in it. Could it be that he's up there? Well, given that I know just how many zombies there are around here, oh, multiple people. Right. I need to get one guy on his own. Kill him in 8 shots or fewer. Loot him. And then try and take on the others. This is going to be my guy. Come on, come over here. That will have to do. Oh. They're backing off for a second, but no, they are not. object collision. 8 shots. 5 shots. Have to reload. Is that it? Did I make it? Oh. I don't see anyone else there. Dust suddenly... Oh, temporarily lifted. Good grief. Oh, my heart. Ah. Whew. How many people did I shoot out here? There's at least one. I think there's a second one out here as well. No, I'll never be able to find him. If indeed he's here. Right! Wow! Oh! Oh, my heart. Cheesy peeps. Well, I was very lucky to run into them. And, well, I think there was some luck. Some good judgment. And some just plain bloomin' nerve to hang in there and try and make it through. Oops. Sorry, I use the square brackets keys to move through the action menu rather than the mouse wheel. And square brackets keys are also GPS screens. Right. Well, it's also time for me to go and get ready for the radio show, so I'm going to have to press save. Oh, goodness me. That was an awful lot of not very much, and then a large amount of far too much. I cannot believe I survived that. Whew. Well, you know, as I often say, you don't come here to watch good shooting, because frequently my shooting is quite poor.
naughty Twitch gamer. But accurate shooting does not always win the day. And goodness me, if any of you watching have served time in the military, I'm sure I don't need to tell you this. You know, good tactics and luck will beat sharpshooting any day of the week. I think they did there. Right. Time to press save and exit. And I'll come back in a little while later. You'll see this as a jump cut. Oh, that's right, there's something I need to tell you. And yet, I've also just heard an engine. Oh, righty. Ravage has been updated between me quitting the last time and me loading back in. And the new version of Ravage has some fairly big changes to it. I mean, not massive, but it has some changes to it that mean save games are not compatible. So, yeah, what I have had to do... Really? Frick. What did I do there? That was a massive mess. Oh, well done me. There we go. Right. Yes, what I've had to do is cheat. I had to sort of reconstruct my game. You'll see on the map here, up at the top, load SSPCM. Simple single player cheat menu. That is a mod that allows you to do various things. And so I used it to recreate my loadout and teleport me to this position. Whereupon I saved the game, exited and came back in. However, because I've saved the game with this active, it has to still be there, although you'll notice at the moment it says load SSPCM, because this is what one has to do. It constantly says day 28 here. It's not active at the moment. If I press load, a cheat menu will appear here. Fantastic. Now, I'm jolly interested in that vehicle I heard driving past. But given the nature of the heavy gun on the back of it, I wasn't in too much of a hurry to go and meet it. So yes, I do apologise for any discrepancies between the last session and now. I have recreated my exact loadout. Because I'm recording a video, I can go back and watch it, you see. And my exact position. Which really is the only thing that matters. Ah, frig. Kind of you to line up like this. Goodness me, I'm almost out of pistol rounds already. Due to that appalling shooting earlier. Let's try and fall off this roof without getting hurt too much. Yay! Yeah, so I do apologise for any discontinuity. It's one of the hazards of making videos. Now I'm quite heavily laden after that firefight. I'm glad I stopped when I did. Because goodness me, that was frantic. And oh, really? No, not really. Oh hell. Ho ho ho! Oh, what a time for a jam. That was loud. Ugh, get in the house. Oh, jeez. Treat yourself. This is not the best start, is it? Well, the bestest restart. Because I'm so laden with stuff, I've very poor stamina. I can't move terribly quickly. Right. Uh-oh. I've got Armite. Oh no. It's quite enough out of you. Okay, now, presumably, that vehicle's heading along one of these two roads. Not sure which one. Thought that gate up ahead for a second was, ugh. So it was the top of a vehicle. Gonna need to eat some food soon. I've now confused myself as to which direction I was going in. That way, surely. Now, I haven't heard any more evidence of that vehicle. And that's not a bad thing. Carrying far too much weight. Can I treat myself again? I don't really want to. How many first aid kits do I have? 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, yeah, no, I'm definitely doing it now. Oops. I accidentally pressed the plus button. Righty. Ah, you do a window on that side. There's a bloody great tree in front of it. Great. Searchy, searchy. You never know. I just want to look out a window and have an overview of the town before I go plunging into the middle of it. Oh. Oh, that's handy. Well, I guess that vehicle is, well, maybe not long gone. Oh, yes. So, dust is a little bit different from the default Altus mission. You guys know how mad it's in? Where is he off to? coming back. Very kind of you. Pardon me, sir, would you oblige me by standing still for a moment? Most kind. I'm obliged to you, sir. Good Lord, their hearing is much improved, isn't it? I'm standing here like a plum, such that if that vehicle comes back, I'm very much an easy target. I say, good fellow, would you do a chap a solid? Most kind. Da-doomp, da-doomp, da-doomp. Yeah, might as well. What interested me there was that the zombies did not attempt to come through the gate. I'm kind of curious as to whether gates have an effect on the navigation mesh used by... So, oh, for goodness sakes. I do hear another one. This guy's not the only one. You coming through that gate? No, you're not. Ah. I was wondering if perhaps the gates have got a sort of baked-in effect on the navigation mesh or not. Never occurred to me to look before. I think it's safe to say they do not. Get 'em. Oh, searchable boxes at that. Now, the reason I was wondering that is because I know that Van Tinson's been working on a base building mod, which is easily the most requested thing in Ravage, to the point where I get quite tired of answering questions about it. But of course, people who are asking the question don't know that it's been asked a million times before. Although, really, if it's something that comes to mind that easily, then perhaps they ought to. Oh. I paused just by here because this is a water source where you can fill bottles, canteens, that kind of thing. It will be dirty water. It will need to be purified in order to be useful. Oh, what the hell, man? Good Lord. You like okay? Dumping that. Yes, I might find more ammunition for it, but I think I'm almost as likely to find a pistol with some ammunition. Slightly worried about how often this gun is jamming. Goodness sakes. Oh. Where's the other one? Also very worried about the amount of ammunition I am wasting on zombies. Frick. Run. Ow! Good lord. I'm properly hurt from that. I am. This is tough. Anyone else? Oh, howdy. I did not come here to shoot zombies. And I am also... Oh, for goodness sakes. Better just be a walker. I'm burning through first aid kits. No, they're... Oh... Towns are not good places to be. No, I'm not just going indoors to make it easier to shoot zombies. Blinking flip. Not sure I've seen them do that before. But it also lessens the noise. Or this is not going well. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Gonna leave that there.
That is dust for you.
It's tough.
I survived one day. Was it just one day? Yeah, I think it was actually. I don't recall seeing a night. I wondered if perhaps it was a bit messed up with the sort of having to recreate the mission. Anyway, that is dust. It is tough. It is included with Ravage, so why not have a go? Oh, now I hear shitting in the background. Shut up, zombies. Ah. Yes, this is included with Ravage, so you'll see when you start up Ravage, well, when you start up Arma, in scenarios, if you do the drop down beside where it says Ravage, and you'll see Altus listed, and you'll see Dust listed. Tough, tough mission. Rather enjoyed it though. Anyway, I shall see you in the next video. God, shut up, Meg. Ta-ra.